The Mayor of Bristol, Marvin Rees, joins me. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Marvin's
how
fine,
significant is this case for Bristol?
Well, it depends on your audience, depends on your criteria. In the lives of the four individuals, it's incredibly significant, I guess, because their futures have thus, faced a bit of a fork in the road in some ways. For the work on race inequality in Bristol much more widely, it's less significant because, my sense is that, when we're tackling race inequality, we're looking at those underlying drivers of political and economic inequality, and the verdict itself doesn't actually touch on those very real and immediate issues.
So, in essence, you're saying this is really, as far as Bristol's concerned, a rather marginal issue.
Well, it would be noisy, but I'm minded of something someone said to me the other day. This too shall pass. It's one of the warnings I make all the time, that we have to be careful about symbolic acts and mere events being substituted for acts of real substantial systemic change. Now, make no mistake about it. I don't like the idea of the statue being up in the middle of the city. I'm glad it's not there. I think that the debate around our history, who we choose to celebrate as a country, is important. These are symbols of historical injustice and whose voice is heard. And I think there needs to be work done on this. And I would like to see people who have been involved in kidnap, rape and all the rest of it not celebrated in public space. But at the same time, symbolic acts, while they're important, if they begin to take the place of acts of political and economic policy and real substance, become a problem. Because we look around in 5 years, realize that nothing's really changed. People point to all these things that have happened and we say, oh, but those were just acts, those were just performances. So we have to be very careful in the way we handle these issues.
Is that, in a way, another way of saying what you said rather strikingly the other day, that people shouldn't come to Bristol in the hope of fulfilling their revolutionary fantasies? The problem is you can't stop them, can you?
No, but again, there needs to be the fullness of what I said was, if they're coming to do real political change, to do some of the hard yards. I mean, not all anti-racism work is done with a banner and a T-shirt and a megaphone, right? Some of it's done by looking at housing policy, looking at affordable homes, looking at what we do around making sure people are fed, making tweaks to our mental health system, looking at the number of magistrates we get and going out and recruiting. Stuff that we've done over the last few years that has not hit the headlines, that has not brought tens of thousands of people onto the street, but led just a few years ago to 11 of 33 new magistrates in Bristol coming from Black and Asian backgrounds. That's never happened. And yet we know about the inequalities in the criminal justice system, that plague, and that's a central part of ongoing racial inequality. So it's not all about what gets in the headlines. It's about sometimes those hard yards done in invisibility.
Well, it's pretty clear what your priority here is, and I just want to ask you this, and forgive me, we know each other outside of this kind of encounter. Let me ask you a direct question. As the most senior elected black official in the United Kingdom, if not in Europe, how do you feel about four white individuals claiming to represent the feelings of minority Bristolians?
Well, I haven't pored over the things they've been saying, other than them and their barristers saying that we've been inactive in the city, which obviously I've got issues with, and I'll be more than happy to talk to them about what real anti-racism work is. I think the symbolic acts are really important, and they've played a part in Bristol's history. But you're jumping off my back here, and then that takes us into another realm of conversation. More broadly, I think there is a question about what it means to be an ally and what allyship is. Trevor, I'm not overclaiming my significance, but first black mayor in UK, probably the first black mayor of any major European city. There are challenges. If they are saying that racism is real, then surely they would also have enough awareness to say there are probably some issues about race that go with this black guy becoming mayor, of Bristol. And we want to understand what those are before we just railing and start saying that nothing's happened. in the face of the reality that many things have actually happened. So I think there are some layers to be pulled back there that actually present a bit of a teachable moment for all parties concerned.
Marvin Rees, Mayor of Bristol, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning.
Thank you.